So it starts off innocently enough as bullying people in school, but eventually that grows and grows and grows, just like any addiction, where eventually the need to make that fix becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually we're committing real crimes. Thank you. Young man. For those who can't hear me, asked if I ever shared any of this with my son. He sees enough. He's very proud of his dad, and he does know that his dad went through a period where he had to suffer drugs and alcohol and had to get himself better. He does know that his mom went through drugs and alcohol and got herself better. And in fact, his mom still goes to AA meetings on a regular basis, and he sees her do that. So recovery is a part of our lives, and we talk about it openly. At the same time, he also knows that his dad is a bit of a superhero. That's the way he looks at me. He calls me a superhero. And I'm very grateful and honored that he sees me that way, because, as I said, he's one of the most beautiful souls I've ever entertained. And for him to see me in that light means I must be doing something right. So the fact that I'm his superhero is good enough for me.
How much did it cost for your successful rehabilitation? And what hope do we have for the people who can't afford it?
It's a very good question. Very good question. One of my biggest concerns in this country right now is drug addiction that is not brought on by the street dealers, but is brought on by your local doctors. That right now is the biggest problem in this country, and it's growing by the day, okay? We need to understand that the doctors have a responsibility with that mighty pen and that mighty prescription pad.
It's the chest of the world here where the drug companies live.
That's right. And at the end of the day, we have got to formulate a way for people to understand, and we're talking specifically about the pharmaceutical companies and the doctors who do the prescribing. We need to formulate a way that once they have written this ridiculous amount of medications, this list of medications for us to become addicted to, once we're addicted and they feel that now we're an addict and we've crossed over that imaginary line, where do we go from there? Where do we go from there? We need to find a solution, people. There has got to be a solution. There has got to be a way to rehabilitate those people. And I don't just mean physical rehabilitation. They have these pain centers, which have grown immensely around the country. Everywhere they're popping up. Physical therapy treatment centers, things like that, where people can go and try and rehabilitate their bodies. But that does not get them off the drugs. So if you cannot afford $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 to go to a 12-step recovery treatment program center, and you cannot detox at Betty Ford, where do you go? Your health care doesn't provide for it, does it? So what do we do about that? That is a huge problem, and something that I really think needs to be recognized and addressed in this government. So I hope that as I leave you here today, you guys can converse amongst yourselves and talk to each other and communicate and try and figure out a better solution for your own state. I know that I'm working very hard in California to try and help certain things, and one of those things which I know you're also dealing with is the ban on e-cigarettes, which is another one for people who are trying to quit cigarettes and trying to quit nicotine. And that's another thing that I think has gotten out of control, because it's okay for us to smoke tobacco cigarettes with 4,000 chemicals in them, but God forbid somebody uses nicotine and glycerin in public. It's a lot to think about. Are we done? Okay. Okay, she says people are getting hungry, so maybe we can take one final question, but I have something I wanted to do for you. Before we're done, as I leave you all here today, some of you may know that I do music as well. Thank you. Or one of you may know. But I'm working on a new album, and the album is called Angelic to the Core. and it comes out in July. And I have a couple singles that I've put out so far, but one that I felt was particularly fitting for our event here today and what I'm talking about. And it talks about kind of the pain, the trials and tribulations that I've been through. And I actually wanted to do a sneak preview, world premiere. Nobody's heard this song before, but for you guys, it just got finished mixing last night. That's the truth. I was up till 4 o'clock in the morning working on this mix for you guys. So I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to give you the world premiere. It's a song I did with a friend of mine named Brandon Howard, B. Howard, who's been in the press a lot lately. I'm not going to tell you why. If you're a fan and you follow, then you'll figure it out for yourself. And if not, then you'll probably just hopefully enjoy the song. But anyway, the song is called Mercy. And I'm going to try and play it for you right now.